So first question I would like to ask to Ujjwala. Okay. So I will be asking some scenario-based questions, and I want to see that how good you are to understand the scenario. It might be fine that you are not able to give the answer, but I would like to see that how confident you are, okay, when you speak, or how you are handling these questions, because during interviews it will be all scenario-based. Okay. So you have to create some fictitious stories as well. Okay. So that means if a question is asked, I cannot say that I have not got an exposure of. You will have to think that you have to join the dots at that time. Okay? So these are some of the practices that we would do quite often during our module. Okay. So first question is to you. Suppose a company is there, okay, he wants to implement an approval process for manual journal entries. So how will you configure it in Dynamics 365?
So please repeat once again.
Yeah. So there is an approval process for manual journal entries. Okay. The company wants to implement it. So how will the workflow is required to be created by the company? It has to be done by you. How will you do that?
Okay, so in journal entries, sir, there is an option to create a journal names where we can restrict, sorry, no, not restrict, where we can, there is an option of approval of the journal entries that we can make for few necessary entries where the approval is actually required. So we can define the approval person group or a manager there. So it is available in journals also. So with the help of journal, we can do that entries. So
So besides
workflow
approval,
is,
what are things that are important?
sorry,
So, so you mentioned that you would be defining the approvals, right?
yes.
So what all other things are necessary besides defining approvals?
So there is an option of workflow,
Huh.
uh, but I think it was in our last session and we faced some errors in that. So
Okay.
we are still working on that, sir.
Yeah. But good that you remember.
Yes,
So basically here, what we need to do, we need to configure the workflow of general journals.
yes,
Under general ledger, you will get the option for journals, and under that you will get general journal workflow. We will have to define the workflow conditions and also the approval hierarchies based on the company's policy. Okay. And
yes,
once you define it, you will have to activate the workflow, and you need to test it as well before by submitting a journal for approval. Okay.
yes.
You need to ensure that only approved journals can be posted, maintaining a control and accuracy level. Understood how the flow, and this is how you need to answer as well. Okay, you
Oh,
need to say that these are the steps that are required to be done. You have to understand what all I mentioned about testing, right? So testing is a very important part of your development. If you are generating a work, if you are creating a workflow, and before you post that workflow, you need to ensure that you do all the necessary tests in order to understand that whether the workflow that you have created is following the proper structure or not. So, okay, but good job done. Good answer.
yes. Okay, thank you.
So next question I would like to ask to Ganesh maybe regarding a scenario on financial dimensions. Okay. So a company wants to track expenses by department, project, and cost centers. Okay. How would you configure financial dimensions to achieve this?
Uh, we can create a dimension through financial dimension also or segment also. We have two options there. We can create from segment also and financial dimension also.
And
Hello.
only this, there should be some steps involved, right? Why you are doing it,
Yes,
what you are
steps.
doing.
I'm telling you steps.
Okay.
First, you go to financial dimension. Navigation is that from general ledger to financial dimensions. We can create there if we have three business units. If we have a legal entity like ABC Limited, and we have three business unit. In that business unit, we have three. sector. In every business unit we have three sector. Okay, and when we create a financial dimension on basis of that structures, then we can uh, we can create a uh, financial dimensions with that structure, means BU, business unit, cost center, department wise. We can segregate our salary or our expenses, whichever we have do na. We can segregate that expenses department wise, business wide, or uh, country wise. We can we can segregate that expenses.
Okay. Any other answers from anyone? Any other different answer or maybe a different approach
Sir,
to
yeah.
this problem?
Sir, what was the question? What dimensions we have to add?
Yeah, there you go. No, I won't repeat the question.
Okay, sir.
Anyone else?
Sir,
Mhm.
can I
Yes.
answer?
Yeah, please.
In general ledger chart of accounts,
Mhm.
there is a option of financial dimension. If
Good.
we want to track the expenses according to business unit and cost center, we have to add in financial dimension business unit. In front of main account, we have to add business unit and cost center.
Mhm.
Then we have to put the option that segment or financial dimension cannot be blank. That's
Mhm.
then in main account, while we putting the entries, we have to put the values in business and cost center. If we leave it blank, it will give error. That's why we according to these steps we can achieve our uh, expenses according to business units, and maximum 10 dimensions we can add in this financial dimensions.
So once these dimensions are linked to the ledger account structure for validation,
Yes.
so what will be your next step? What do you do in your project? Once that is done, what are your steps as a functional consultant to let the users know about this process?
After these financial dimensions we add into the general ledger system, we have to put the entries and expenses through business segment financial dimensions. Like if I have a I have expenses of rent expenses, and we have to add in this we have to add these expenses into IT consulting services business unit. Then we have to put only we have to add that expenses into business unit. We
Okay,
cannot leave it
that's
blank.
correct. Whatever you have mentioned is correct. But see, there are two types of approaches, right? One approach is like I am just sharing the configuration. Okay, that what you have shared at the moment. You have shared how you configure. What are the things you need to take care. Second is an experienced approach. Experienced approach that I am not going as a fresher in this domain. I
Okay.
am going as an experienced person. So my next step would be that what is the use of it once I do it? So your next step would be that you need to train users to select the appropriate dimensions during the journal entry or transaction posting. And then you have to generate the financial reports as well using the management reporter or trial balance by dimensions. Because once then the entire process will be completed. That this is the flow that once the dimensions created, how the dimensions are linked to the ledger account, and then what are the different steps that are required to be done on those dimensions.
Okay.
Understood? So
Yes.
as an experienced functional consultant, you have to give that answer that what's the use of it once it is done. Okay, it's a scenario that has been created, right? The scenario, they doesn't want to know just the configuration. They want to know that how, as a functional consultant, what you do after the configuration setups is done. Understood?
Yes.
So as a consultant, you will have to take business decision. You will have to get in touch with the stakeholders. You need to talk to the user. You have to educate the user that these are the things that you will have to do. What is the workflow? You're creating a workflow that has a purpose. You have created it. You know it. The clients won't know it. They will have to get educated that these are the things that my users will have to follow once a workflow is created. You won't be in the picture. You will then become a support guy. That if any issue comes, only then your involvement will be there. But you will have to educate them. Understood? So, but yes, the flow that you have mentioned is correct. Ganesh, you identified it correctly that from general ledger you will be going to financial dimension, but how the process is, that's very important, right? From general ledger, you have to select chart of accounts. Under there, we have dimensions. Under there, we have financial dimensions. So that attention to details to every step is very important. Otherwise, the recruiter won't be impressed with the answers. And one thing I have also observed that you are using a lot of fillers. बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है. This becomes a noise after some point of time. Okay, so we'll have to control that as well. So involve yourself more into communicating with people, answering to questions. Like we have shared a student discussion group. Are you guys using it? Any one of you? Have you
Not
started
using.
utilizing the student discussion group? So why you are waiting? 11 sessions are done. That means almost 2 months of classes are done almost. So why you are not still not using it? I told you, right, in one internal discussion that please use the student discussion link to talk to people. Otherwise, what will happen? You will always have this challenge of talking in front of someone, and you won't develop that confidence. And if you are not confident during interview, no matter how good you might be a functional consultant or with your knowledge, you won't be able to sell yourself. If you are not able to sell yourself, you won't be selected. So we are giving you the platform. Please use this platform. These platforms are not just for show. You will have to use it, right? You are the students. You will have to do the internal connections and group discussions. Try to be friends to each other, okay? So just do not like I will have to join a class में आना है बात करना. Not like that. You have to connect it besides the class also, right? Monday to Friday, all the days are given to you. Why? So that you can practice on it. You can communicate with people. You can improve your confidence level. Please start utilizing it. Otherwise, what will happen? The syllabus will be over, the projects are done, and then the mock interview will come into picture. And then you will struggle. Then again, you will go in and do that same way. So please, any one of you take the initiative and talk to people and try to develop your confidence level. Okay, cool. Okay, so Yasho, the next question is to you, and the scenario that I am thinking is to like posting profiles, right? We post profiles. The client wants to post specific types of transaction, such as suppose say customer payment or inventory adjustments to separate accounts. How would you achieve this in Dynamics 365? And what is the process once it is done as a functional consultant? What will you do?
For posting a specific journal, we can create a like a particular JV we can do, like offset account only in cash, only with customer. Like that, we can create in JV. Uh, where this will be helpful when we uh, take the report of trial balance, then we can select only customer or sales or only cash transaction. Like that.
Then any other better answer from anyone? So you need to navigate to the specific module, right? Like as you mentioned, that at first maybe an AR or inventory, you will have to navigate to that. And to configure the posting profiles to map transaction types to designated general ledger accounts as well. And you need to ensure that each transaction type is mapped into an account reflecting the business logic. That's very important. That every transaction type has to be linked to an account which reflects the business logic. For example, revenue account for customer payments. Then you have to test the configuration process by a sample transaction, and then you need to verify the GL entries. Understood the process? Okay, so suppose this question is to Rohan. Okay. So suppose during year end, okay, so right now it's the year end, last financial year. last financial quarter of the year. During the year end, the client needs to carry forward balances to the new fiscal year. How will you manage this?
Sir, your voice is breaking, sir.
Can you hear me now? Am I audible to others? Okay. So can you hear me now, Rohan?
Yes, sir. Yes.
My question is that during year end, the client needs to carry forward the balances to the new fiscal year. How will you manage this in D365?
Sir, I don't know about it exactly.
Anyone who's known about the period close process?
When we create a calendar, their system will automatically create the year starting and ending duration month-wise. Where in the starting year and ending year, we will get this one 2 months. We will like April month, we will get two columns. One is for opening and opening of next month, and one is for the previous closing to appear there.
Mm-hmm.
So by this, the system automatically shows the closing balance to the next year.
Okay. Okay. Any other answer from anyone?
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
we have already created a fiscal calendar as per our requirement. Then, if you want to close year end or month end, with this calendar automatically, we have to create a next year calendar. If we have a calendar of April 24 to March 25, if we want to carry forward the balance through April 24 to April 20, we have to forward the balance from this year to next financial year for April 25. Then we have to create a calendar. Then we go to the that process for the year closing, and our balance will automatically transfer from this year to next year, or this month to next month. Only assets and liability balance will forward to next year.
Yeah. So we need to close the fiscal year by navigating to like general ledger. There is an option called the period close. There you will find fiscal year close. So you have to configure the carry forward rules. You also need to ensure that the profit and the loss accounts are cleared and balances are carried forward to retain the earnings. Okay. Then you need to do a trial run and see that the closing process, in which environment should be the closing process. Anyone knows?
The environment means
It is pending.
Is anyone aware about sandbox environment, prod environment? Are you aware about it? No, right? Okay. So this is a question you can ask to Nagul sir whenever is your next class or whenever you want to. You can ask them that what's the process like? So what's the development workflow? Where do we at first publish our work? And after that, what is the next stage? The first stage is called the sandbox stage. Then comes your UAT stage, QA, then UAT, then comes your production. So what is the different stages of the life cycle of the development? Ask this question to Nagul sir as well. Okay, he will explain it in depth. So next question is to Ujjwala once again. What are the steps involved in configuring ledger and fiscal calendars in D365?
Sir, in all module general ledger, there is a option of ledger setup. So where we can configure the company with physical calendar, currencies, and account structure. So after that only we can post the all entries.
Okay. Is there anything that is missing? Anyone? Okay, Rohan, can you answer
Or,
this to the same question once? Yeah, sorry.
so for ledger setup, you have to first create the legal entity, then you have to create the currencies, then you have to create the physical calendar, then you have to create the account structure from the chart of account, and you have to set up all these together in ledger setup process.
Right. Correct. What's the use of it? Why do we create this?
So with the help of this, we can understand the what currencies we are using, in which period we are working, as well as with the help of accounting structure, where we already defined our segments. So we can understand the our divided cost into different segments. So it is helpful to understand all these things.
Good. Yeah. Next question is to Ganesh. So,
sir.
Ganesh, suppose a client wants to implement an approval workflow for vendor payments. Okay,
Approval work.
what approval workflow? Yeah. How will you do that?
So actually, Nagul sir uh, taught that lesson before last Sunday. Actually, I have not practicing on that
Acha, last session. Is
last
anyone
session.
there who remembers the process?
So we are facing error in that. Means it
You guys
is
are facing it.
completed.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Have we done budgeting as well? Budget control configurations? Is
No, sir.
that topic
No,
done?
sir. No,
Not
sir.
yet.
Only general ledger. Nakul sir had taught.
Only general ledger. Okay. Okay. Let me see the topics that's been done. Last just give me- Okay. Chalo. There is one question that's coming in my mind in general ledger. So, yes, Ganesh, to you. So, a user accidentally posted a journal entry with some wrong financial dimensions. How will you correct it? Have you faced this scenario? What was the scenario that you have faced in your work and how did you rectify it?
Uh, eh, in this scenario, I will reverse that entry and tally. In DownTownCoders, we don't know how to rectify that entry because if we post that entry, it's directly reflect in our trial balance. So we can't change that entry. So
No, there is
that
a reverse transaction feature that we have, right? To reverse incorrect
we
entry.
have not learned that
I'm not-
actually.
So you can note down this question and you can ask as well. So these questions should come in your mind when you guys are learning something. ये हुआ तो क्या हुआ? If this happens, then what can be? So these are the interactions which are necessary, right? It should never be like one day interaction. You should also ask some questions that what can be some underlying things that might happen. Okay. So suppose to Yashodhar, a company has open foreign currency balances that needs to be revalued at month end. Do you know how to get it done? Foreign currency balances.
We can create a currency setup where we can like which currency we need to do. In that we can create reporting currency, and one more is like using currency which we are purchasing. Reporting currencies where we show the statement in currency. When we select that, we can automatically calculate the conversion amount the report, where we need to manually enter the currency rate daily, or we can connect the provider, currency provider.
That's right. So Can you give a scenario that you have faced in your projects previously to get this configuration done?
I like ledger setup I have done where I had set up for USD to INR, where in USD transaction will happen. In INR, the transaction will be reported in trial balance, where I passed some journal entries through using that.
Right. So see, another thing, whenever a question is asked to you, the recruiter's temperament is not to just get answers. The user's temperament is to understand that how you have utilized that in your work. So whenever you will answer from next time onwards, you should not just directly give answers. You should say that, yeah, I can relate to this question. You know what, in one of my previous projects, this was one of the scenario wherein I had to do this, and then you will have to give your answer. You know what? So answers with examples, and examples will be your work experience. Understood? Even though you might not have handled it in your work, but you will have to connect the dots in this way. In one of my previous projects, this was one of the scenarios. So what the temperament, how the temperament of the recruiter changes, he will think that, oh, he has handled it. That's the reason he's talking about that in one of the projects he has handled it. And there comes a lot of difference. Out of 10 people who's coming for the interview, 9 people won't be talking in that way. Now, I want you guys to talk in this way. Only then, as a recruiter, the person will become confident in your profile. Why a person selects you? The person selects you not only just for your skill sets, they also want to see that how much value you would be able to add, or how much value your experience we will be able to add in my project. Only then I will select it. And I will have to create my own value by talking about my work. No one will select because of who you are, from where you are, how much percentage of marks you have got. That day is gone. That is only for freshers. We are now going as an experienced person. So now our value is our work. How much I have, uh, how many scenarios I have handled, how I am presenting those scenarios. These are now value for my work. Understood? So everyone try to develop that approach. That is very important. Okay. And this will not happen overnight. This will take some time. That needs a lot of practice. You need to practice in front of people. You cannot practice in your mind. Because sometimes what happens, our communication also fails, right? When we think and when we think in our vernaculars and then we try to speak in English. Dimag mein to we are everything, we know everything. But in terms of expressing in front of person, there can be a challenge. Okay. So please, I will once again encourage you guys to please use the student discussion link. 10 to 15 minutes a day. You can join after 10 p.m. also, if you guys are comfortable. Join after 10 just before going to bed if you want to connect for 15-20 minutes of overlap time if you have, if you can discuss, or maybe early morning if you can discuss. It will be good for you that your communication will also improve, your approach will also improve, and your confidence will also improve. Understood? Please utilize this platform. So yes, you told it correctly that we will have to at first set up the exchange rates under general ledger currencies and exchange rates. We will have to. So this terminology was missing. Exchange rate is the right terminology that is required to be used. Okay. Then you have to navigate to general ledger, period close, foreign currency revaluation to configure and execute the process. So a parent company needs to consolidate financial data from multiple subsidiaries with different currencies. How will you get it done? Consolidation of data.
I don't know, sir.
Sir, there is a option we can uh, take all ledger or chart accounts from Excel to in our software, right?
Mhm. So
Consolidation means
is this been done in the class? First of all, I don't know the consolidation process is done. Okay, not done. Okay, that will be done in class. I'm asking some questions ahead of time. Okay. Allocation journal, allocation rule, allocation request, accrual journals. Okay, these are done. So are you confident with accrual journal? Everyone?
Accurate.
Accrual journal. Yes, sir.
Can anyone tell what is accrual journal?
Sir,
We will-
suppose we have to pay insurance, particular company insurance, and suppose we have to pay rent in month-wise transaction, then we can achieve this scenario by using Accrual General. We in Dynamics 365 we can suppose we pay the insurance amount in one stroke, and uh, we have to see the transaction, see that entry in months. That scenario we can achieve through Accrual Generals.
Okay. Any other different answers?
Sir, if we have paid any amount like insurance at a time, and we should we need to get the entries in month-wise. Like
Yep.
every month we cannot pass JV. So using this accrual basis, we can create the monthly entries in the
Okay.
ledger.
Suppose a company has posted some accruals for a yearly subscription, but he has decided that I want to cancel my subscription in the middle of the year. So how will you handle it?
Sir, when we have paid the subscription, I think we cannot get any, like we have already paid that amount. So the refund doesn't happen.
The refund doesn't happen, right? Reversing the
Yes.
remaining portion of the accrual is not possible, right?
No.
Correct. Reversing is not possible. But if it is required to be done, for example, if the company has a policy that they would be refunding the amount, so you will have to document the entire cancellation process and ensure proper posting to the subscription expense and the liability accounts. Okay, and then update the original accrual stream accordingly, okay, if necessary. Suppose a client wants to allocate accrued expenses across multiple departments, okay, and multiple departments and projects based on financial dimensions. How will you configure it?
So we will configure through financial dimensions.
So what is the flow?
So
If someone asks you what is the scenario you have used, yeah, yes, please go.
we will we have passed the interest of payment accrual rent to it's like bank. Okay, we already created the entry. Then we will pass that amount in various department in various month. So first, for that chart of accounts, we have to attach that financial dimensions. Both we have already created, like which department wise or cost center wise. We have to attach that. We have to attach that financial dimension to that chart of accounts. Then when we pass that entry, then we will bifurcate that amount by month wise and by amount wise also.
Okay. To some extent, it is correct. Good that you have identified where it is, but the explanation, refinedness and polishness is still missing. So another thing I would like to request you guys that whenever a topic is done in a class, I told you, I think in the internal discussion that we will have to use our technology, which is like ChatGPT and Google. Try to get into it, get into more in depth of the topic that how this scenario can be handled, or maybe 5 use cases on this topic. Then see what are the top answer questions you're getting, what are the answers you are getting, how you would be able to configure that, and try to do it immediately on the system. Just do not rely on one set of information that are coming from Nabil. Also depend on other things. Do some research-oriented kind of work as well. So what will happen? You will be able to expand your horizon of knowledge. You would be able to broaden your skill sets. You will be able to understand what are the other use cases that can be possible, and what should be the right approach. The right technical terminologies matters a lot. Okay, right over here, one of the most important thing is allocation percentages. You need to configure the accrual scheme with dimension values applied to the allocation percentages. And then you have to create the journal entry using accrual scheme, ensuring the dimensions are correctly assigned to the expenses and the liability accounts. So these financial terminologies or financial jargons, liabilities, accounts, allocations, you will have to use it in your answers. It cannot be plain English language. You are now from the background of finance and operations. If I'm just talking in English, it won't impact the audience. You will have to use the technical jargons extensively when you are giving your answers. And again, with examples, in your project experience. So that will only happen when you will be doing your learning by the usage of technology. Go to ChatGPT and see that how can I answer to this question using experience. Then you will see the answer, and then you see whether you are able to relate to it. So these kinds of homeworks are required to be done. Okay. If you haven't started it yet, please follow it. See, whatever instructions that I pass, there is a reason behind it. There is a science behind it. Okay. And over the 10.5 years of experience that I'm carrying, I have learned it in this way by myself. And I think it has really worked good for me. So I am very sure it will be working good for you as well. Okay. So for hundreds and hundreds of students, it has worked. It will definitely work for you. Okay. And this is pure knowledge, and knowledge will never fail. Okay. Knowledge will never let you down. So you will have to get massive knowledge from multiple areas. That can only be done if you invest some extra time for yourself. So that extra touch to your profile, if you can give, it will be magical. Magical. Then you will see automatically your way of explaining, the way of expressions, the usage of technical terminologies have changed. And then you will see you will become a polished functional consultant. Understood? Right now, you can also understand when you're answering that refineness is missing. Means if I answer in this way in front of a recruiter, the recruiter won't hire you. You will also not hire yourself. So when you will go through this recording, observe how you are speaking. What's your facial movement? You are constantly looking here, there, niche. That constant connection is very important. Okay. So these are minute details which actually adds on to your profile. Okay? But you have understood that's good. And sometimes people are not able to join the dots, but you guys are able to do it. So good job done. You guys are doing a good job, I guess, in your class. Okay, let's ask the final question for the day. Okay, let's see who's able to answer this. Suppose after posting an actual journal for a project, the finance team realizes that the allocation percentage was incorrect. How will you get it corrected?
Again, there will be the same reversal entry will be there, right, sir? We are not learn from actually Nagul sir.
But the reversing feature has not yet been done. Okay, reverse transaction feature is not done. Okay,
not
okay.
done.
So can we change that allocation rule? We can
Yeah,
create new allocation rule and
Correct.
link with that allocation entry.
Correct. So you have to reverse the original journal entry using reverse transaction feature. And then you will have to update the accrual scheme with the correct allocation percentage or amount, and then create and post a new journal using the updated scheme. That is how it is.
Okay, first we have to create that reversal entry. Then again, we have to
Reversal.
post new entry. Okay.
Correct. Okay, I think that's it from my side. Was able to ask you the questions that I thought to ask. Good job, guys. Done so far. You were able to address to the questions and understand the question. That is very important. So that means you are in the right track. So what is missing? I think you have now understood that what namak hota hai, that is missing, still there in the book.
Yes,
So
sir.
that you will have to bring it in the profiles. That can only be done through practice. not just practicing in front of laptop, but practicing in front of people. Because at the sale, at the during the time of interview, we will become salesmen. हमें अपने आप को बेचना है. And how will you sell yourself? By giving the right points to the recruiter. So that is another thing we will learn. जैसे अपने आप को बेचना है, I will tell you all those tips and tricks, but we will have to practice. You cannot wait till that time. It will be quite far from it. So please
Yes.
utilize the student discussion link, and if you face any problem at anywhere, I'm just a phone call away. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. Okay. And I hope Nagul sir is doing good. That's the reason you guys are able to answer to these questions, which is nice. So any feedback from any one of you regarding anything? Is it going good? Is something that you want to change? Anything from you guys? Be free. Okay, don't worry. Any positive point for Nagul sir? How do you feel? Okay, let's go to each one of you and understand. So Yashodhar, so you are in the middle of the training. So how are you thinking? How's your progress going on so far? How's your level of understanding? Were we able to meet or exceed your expectations throughout this module? Be honest and try to answer.
Sir, I am able to understand easily from Nakul sir, where he is explaining in basic, like no too much technicalities, in basic understanding with examples he is explaining. So I'm satisfied with the classes.
Satisfied. Oh, that's great. Awesome. So, Ujjwala, what's your take on this?
So it's really very good, and it is easy to understand us.
You understand. What will you say? If I had been Nagul sir, then what would you have told me? Well, how's your feeling? Means you are in the middle of the session now. It's the middle of the training. So how's your feeling that from day one when you joined and now in the middle, how's your confidence level has grown?
Oh, I'm very much confident, sir, because I'm relating that work because I have previously done this, so it's easy to understand.
It's easy to understand.
Yes.
You're able to understand through industrial use cases and everything that's been shown in the class. Practically everything is done in the class.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Rohan, if the same question is asked to you, what will be your response?
Sir, I'm not from accounting background. I'm working in a sales. But Nagul sir teaches us with basic examples, like they elaborate the things and with examples that that will easy to understand these things to me. And recorded lecture provides us very useful for practice the sessions. It will get easy for me.
Are you feeling a little bit confident that yes, I would be able to crack a job in near future?
Yes, sir. 100%.
That's a good sign. If you are feeling confident, that means our job is done then. If you are feeling
Yes,
confident, and that is very important. That you should feel confident with the product or the services that you are taking. And if you are happy with the services, then I think that's it. That is what we
yes.
need. Awesome. What about you, Ganesh? Lots and lots of conversations before you join. How are you feeling now? Are you feeling confident?
I am feeling confident, sir, but I am not. I could not get time for practice actually. That's why it's my
And that is the
drawbacks
secondary thing. That is your problem.
because it's my problem. But Nakul sir is teaching well actually.
You are understanding the
He
concept, right? You are
yeah,
able to
I'm
relate to the
understanding the
concept.
concept, but
More
for
time is
getting
needed
time
from your end. Yeah.
yes, from my
We all need to get jobs. That's the reason we have invested money. Okay. And I do not want you guys to lose your money because of any reason. Okay. So I will be pushing you guys a lot. After some time, you will see that I am pushing you guys to next level so that you guys can get jobs because we are targeting the market and the market is looking really strong.